Hello everyone, welcome back to vyapaarjagat TV. And first of all, before we move ahead, first of all, thank you so much for watching our series of interviews with greenpreneurs. And so everyone, today I am here with Neha Modi, and we are at the studio, which is named as Studio Design Atelier Pvt Limited. So Neha ji, she is a interior and landscape designer as well as architect, and she is contributing in lot many ways towards the sustainability, and we are going to discuss about her journey and what are the initiative they are taking as far as the construction or the architecture or the design is concerned. So Neha ji, welcome back to vyapaarjagat TV, and thank you so much for taking out your time and joining this particular show.
Thank you, Praveen ji. It is really nice to be part of such beautiful initiative, sustainable, which is a need of the hour. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
It is a pleasure, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, Neha ji, pehle we will start with your introduction and what are the services you are offering under this particular studio.
We are basically a multifaceted design studio. Started 2 decades ago. After completion of completing my architecture, I worked with many architects, explored many paths. Like, I was not very clear about what path I want to take. So I worked on conservation, I worked on many things, and eventually settled down on starting my own practice in 2 decades ago in 1999. So as of now, principally we offer 4 services under one roof, that is architecture, interior, landscape and structural design.
Okay.
So that is, and we work pan-India as well as in other contexts like Africa and USA also.
Wow.
And soon we'll be starting a couple of projects in Singapore.
Great.
So that is the...
तो नेहा जी ये बताइए कि बिकॉज मैं काफ़ी आर्किटेक्ट्स को मिल रहा हूँ और काफ़ी एक्सपर्ट्स को मिल रहा हूँ, हम लोग बात करते हैं सस्टेनेबिलिटी की, और आपके हिसाब से सस्टेनेबिलिटी क्या है और आपका ये जो डोमेन है वहाँ पे सस्टेनेबिलिटी का कितना इम्पोर्टेंस है और अभी कितना कंट्रीब्यूशन लोग दे रहे हैं?
Sustainability is a very tricky word. I would say that one simple tagline: stop exploiting the resources, natural resources, because they are limited.
Right.
If you do that, it can be anything. हाँ, हमारी इंडस्ट्री में होता है because our industry is one industry which is exploiting maximum natural resources and it emits maximum carbon footprint. We are the biggest contributors in increasing the carbon industry footprints as far as the sustainable aspect is concerned. So basically we are the most top people, but that is what is sustainability for me. If we all stop exploiting natural resources as much as possible, we are moving towards a sustainable movement.
बिल्कुल नेहा जी, ये आप ये बताइए हमें कि जो सस्टेनेबिलिटी की आपने जो बात करी उसमें ये पहले से हो रहा है या इट हैज स्टार्टेड इन लास्ट 1 डिकेड और एनी स्पेसिफिक टाइम से ये स्टार्ट हुआ, या फिर हमारा ये ट्रेडिशन ही है कि हम लोग जो है वो नेचर रिसोर्सेज ज़्यादा कंज्यूम करते हैं?
इंडिया हैज दिस ट्रेडिशन, हम लोग उसको भूल गए. दैट इज हाउ आई वुड पुट इट, दैट व्हाट इज आवर वास्तु. If you study IGBC principles and Vastu, they are hand in hand. हाँ, साउथ वेस्ट में आप रूम्स रख रहे हो to increase the wind flow and avoid the thermal effects. These are the small principles. तो हम उसको फॉलो करते थे डिजाइन में, पर कभी हमने ये नहीं सोचा था कि एक दिन आएगा जब हमको सस्टेनेबिलिटी की बात करनी पड़ेगी. Because as I said again, that the natural resources are exploited so much that now suddenly we are talking of sustainability, forgetting that we already have it. We have a big science given to us. If we even start implementing it at a design stage, 30% problem would be solved.
Wow. तो नेहा जी, पहले के ज़माने में एसी नहीं थे, है ना? अभी आज की डेट पे अगर हम देखें तो मेरे ख्याल से हर एक घर में एक 2 3 एसी लगे हुए हैं.
And they run 24/7.
बिल्कुल. तो ये मेरे ख्याल से इट इज़ वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम। तो इसके बारे में आपके क्या व्यूज़ है, और इज इट पॉसिबल वेरिन जो भी हम ग्रीन कंसेप्ट की बात करते हैं, और ग्रीन जो एक पर्टिकुलर जो आर्किटेक्चर में जिस तरीके से यूज़ होता है, उसको ये पर्टिकुलर एसी वाला जो है उसको हम हमारे घर जो है विदाउट एसी भी कूल रख सकते हैं?
Yes. If you study our ancient buildings, one of the biggest example is Mandu. If you see the architecture of Mandu, with the help of bullock cart, they used to take a water to 4th floor, and they had a beautiful filtration system designed without any machines to filter their swimming pool water.
अच्छा.
If you go to the palaces of Rajasthan and if you touch the walls, they are ice cool.
Right.
That because they are using the marble powder, lime and other ingredients to plaster those walls. They don't crack. You don't have to paint them. So if we go back to our ancient history, we had all the solutions. But somewhere by cutting the trees, eliminating the natural resources, we started the consumption of electricity and other things so much, and we forgot this thing. So we have solutions for this by applying certain materials, by doing the orientation of the rooms and openings in certain particular ways. We can really stop the consumption of the energy to a great extent.
Right.
So we have the solutions in our ancient buildings, in our ancient Vastu Shastra, but we have forgotten it. So now we are screaming about sustainability, but we are not going back to what we have. So that is what we as a designer should try.
तो नेहा जी, आप जो भी प्रोजेक्ट्स लेते हो, तो उस प्रोजेक्ट में आपका एक पर्सपेक्टिव और आपका एक कस्टमर को जो कंसल्टिंग रहता है, उसमें आप हाउ डू यू कन्विंस कस्टमर अबाउट ग्रीन और सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट?
I start with the climate data of that particular place.
Okay.
I tell them that these are the temperature variations in your city. This is the maximum. For temperature is one example. That these are the variations. So we can start with a design that is Vastu compliant.
Right.
And I'm not talking of Astro Vastu, which normally people misconcept Vastu with astrology.
Astrology, yes.
That can be a different part, and I'm not criticizing it. That is also a valid part. If somebody believes in that, they can follow. I'm talking as a designer about the scientific parts of Vastu. By the orientation of the building in such a way that you use maximum natural resources, keep the building cool, and maximum natural energy ka hum use kar sakte. So I try to convince client in that particular way that if they have a tree in the house, I try to convince them to keep it as a part of their building with a courtyard or something.
Right.
So that helps to create a beautiful environment. Beautiful form and function are important, but then these kind of resources are also important, and then I try and give them, at times I take help of experts to help them calculate that by using this material and by using this planning method, you can save this much of electricity bill. We try to promote solar wherever possible on facades, on roofs, so that that India is a very blessed country to have the maximum sunlight. Being a tropical country, we have the maximum advantage of. So we try to convince clients in this way. So climate data is the point where we start with.
बिल्कुल। तो नेहा जी, अभी जिस तरीके से हम लोग वेब पे देख रहे हैं या सोशल मीडिया पे देख रहे हैं, ग्रीन जो है वो एक बज़वर्ड होता जा रहा है ना, एवरीबडी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट ग्रीन। इनफैक्ट काफ़ी सारे ऐसे नए वेंचर्स ओपन हो रहे हैं, देयर एम और देयर मिशन is to have something green, right? Definitely to serve something to the society. बट मैं आपको ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि सही में ये जो ग्रीन का जो बज़वर्ड है उतना काम हो रहा है, और ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट आई ऑल्सो वांट टू आस्क यू वन क्वेश्चन दैट हाउ मेनी प्रोजेक्ट्स सो फार यू हैव डन जो भले सर्टिफिकेशंस ना हो, बट यू कैन से दैट दीज आर दी नंबर ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स which were actually a green or sustainable.
Okay. So first answer is कि actually इतना काम हो रहा है. I would say कि awareness बहुत ज़्यादा create हो रहा है.
Right.
But people are still confused because the information is coming from every corner and it's not consolidated.
Right.
ये अच्छा है, पर क्यों अच्छा है इस लॉजिक के साथ वो नहीं आ रहा है. So I think people should work more on awareness part. Definitely this is the buzzword and it should remain continuous because we need it for our future generation.
बिल्कुल.
Otherwise our future generation will face so many problems that we,
yes.
even health issues.
Right.
So this is a very good thing, but actual ground level पे अभी इतना काम नहीं हो रहा है जितना awareness है. But still ये awareness consolidate होके होना चाहिए. जैसे मैंने कहा कि it's not only a builder's responsibility. Come what may green building material I use, but if my design has not followed the green building principles, so architect is also equally responsible to give you a green building design, which in terms of energy saving. So if a consolidated effort is not happening, if that happens, we'll see more better results. मैं इस वक्त ऐसा नहीं कहूँगी कि रिजल्ट्स नहीं है, काफ़ी काम हो रहा है, रिजल्ट्स भी दिख रहे हैं, बट कंसोलिडेटेड एफर्ट्स नहीं, ग्रास रूट लेवल पे नहीं हो रहा है. जैसे मैंने कहा कि डिजाइन अगर आप बेस से कर रहे हो, एक एग्जिस्टिंग बिल्डिंग को ग्रीन में कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं तो डिफिकल्ट है, बट अगर मैं बेस से कर रही हूँ देन व्हाई नॉट टू फॉलो द डिजाइन प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ वास्तु टू रिड्यूस द बर्डन ऑन द कंस्ट्रक्शन पार्ट एंड गिव इट 100% green. So that is where I feel the gap is. More consolidated effort is not happening, which should happen. More awareness should be brought. There are many organizations like Repair Cafe or Architects Without Frontiers are working on this initiative, but they are not reached to every part of the country yet.
और आप कितने टाइम से कर रहे हो और आपने so far कितने प्रोजेक्ट्स किए हो?
Before 10 years we started very accidentally. We were doing a hospital in Ujjain, and in one discussion suddenly the team of doctors that were building the hospital told me कि it was a joke but it was really a trigger point कि आप तो बना के चले जाओगे, लाइट बिल तो हमको भरना है. You know, so that was the trigger for us to think that how do we reduce the light bill.
Right.
Because hospital is the one place which consumes maximum electricity with ICUs, OTs, CT scan, MRI, everywhere. The patient is in the room, so the ACs would run, AC rooms would run. So that was the trigger which struck us. So we started searching, and in that process, I met a person from Delhi who was expert in converting buildings into energy efficient buildings. That time the word green was not used.
Correct.
And that is how the journey started, that we collaborated with them, and because we were not aware about this principle, and so we collaborated with them. They helped us in material selection, they helped us in making changes in designs. We worked in hand, and that hospital, I would very proudly say that even after so many years, it's a green hospital, first green hospital of MP.
Wow.
Green building, and the energy consumption has come down by 60%, and the healing process has improved. This is the best compliment. जो patients पहले 4 दिन में discharge हो रहे थे, as per that doctor now they are getting discharged in 2 days. So the healing process, so that encouraged us, and now we are trying to implement those principles in every building that we are trying to convince the client. So far we have successfully done 10 hospitals in MP which are more or less green. Some of are 100% green, some clients didn't follow, so some of them are not 100% green. Our houses, we always try and follow the courtyard concepts and also they are from the day one.
तो नेहा जी, आपका ये व्हाट इज योर लार्जर गोल और विजन सस्टेनेबिलिटी को लेकर?
As far as my industry is concerned, I would like to see that every building that I design is a self-sustainable building as far as energy consumption is concerned.
Right.
Why can't we have a bamboo grills? Why can't we have that? They are beautiful elements.
Absolutely.
Bamboo can produce 35% more oxygen than a plant. It can eliminate 39% more carbon footprint than a tree. And it is twice as strong as steel. So why can't we use it as our reinforcing material? Of course, we are doing research on this. We are doing trial and error with some of our buildings, some of our resort projects, because again they are very energy consuming buildings, resorts. And resorts का दूसरा problem ये है कि साल में कुछ टाइम वो बंद रहते हैं, but still they consume the energy. So we are trying to bring this. We are trying to work on breathable concrete which can grow, where you can grow moss on the vertical walls.
Right.
So they look beautiful.
Absolutely.
Rather than putting artificial plant on walls, we are trying to work on breathable concrete. We are working on rendered construction with Hunar Shala in Bhuj. So that is also one thing. So I want to that 100% of my designs and buildings should be green buildings down the line 10 years. That is my goal.
Superb. And where do you see India after 20 years as far as sustainable development is concerned?
There will be a lot of sustainable buildings. Ahmedabad itself has 20 buildings now. Our entire Motera Stadium is a green building, so which is a very good initiative. So
it's a great example as well.
It's a great example as well. So as far as I see India down the line, by 2030, I think there will be a lot of awareness with this kind of a programs and people coming together and taking initiatives. We'll be at a probably I see that India will be a guiding path for the sustainable development to the world. The way things are moving in our country, we will be setting guidelines for the world to do the
because it is a global challenge, and
it's a global challenge. It's a global challenge.
Every country is focusing on sustainability these days.
Yes, a lot of things are happening down south also with Dori Baker Foundation, working on land construction.
Right.
So definitely yes, world will be looking at us for solutions for sustainable as far as buildings and architecture is concerned. I'm sure about that.
That's great. Neha ji, I have a couple of questions related to your journey, and wherein my first question will be, आप इतना सारा काम करते हो, right? So even you have a large team here in the office, right? So how do you spend time when you are not working or you are not in office? Where do you spend time?
Mainly, as I said, travel.
Okay.
I try to find out solutions from different places, so I love travel. So I travel a lot, go visit buildings if something is coming up. Like when Motera Stadium was getting constructed and somebody said that it's a green building concept, I used to go there once a week every evening. So,
wow.
And see what they are doing. So second is reading. I read a lot about my field, about other fields. And otherwise I take short-term 6 weeks, 4-week courses with World Bank. World Bank has a lot of courses, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 1 year, where students from across the world participate. So learning is one part, but there a lot of discussion happens what is happening in their countries.
So Neha ji, you said that you are learning constantly.
Yeah.
जब भी time मिलता है. So, but is there anything special, any skill or any subject which is your focus, and that is can be one of your lacuna or weakness, and you are trying to improve it?
This same green building concept, alternative material. Why some buildings are better than our buildings? What is lacking in our buildings? So that is my passion to learn and keep making changes in the way I work and I design. So that keeps me going. I would say that the day that learning stops, I'll stop working.
Understood. So Neha ji, so being a woman leader, being a woman entrepreneur, आप इतने सालों से काम कर रहे हो, can you tell us one or two challenges which as a woman or without the gender thing, you think you had challenges, and how did you overcome those challenges? If any, if you can just discuss.
Frankly, challenge जैसा कुछ था नहीं, because I love challenges basically. So every situation मुझे मजा आता है जितना challenge ज़्यादा होता है.
You convert challenge into opportunity.
Yes. So there were rigid clients, they were the challenges. Being a woman in this field was always a challenge. Working in certain states like MP and Rajasthan, where they can't take a woman giving them orders. So there I had to really struggle a lot to kind of. Then the biggest challenge that I faced was, I think, convincing clients about new ideas. कि आप ये material, very small example, still today I struggle to convince client that you should use Kota stone as much as possible and not the artificial tiles. Kota is the only material which helps you to bring down temperature by 7 to 9 degrees in your home. You know, people start with શું નવું છે પણ શું સાચું છે, that to make them understand is the biggest challenge I think I still face. And I'm still struggling with that.
Super. So, Neha ji, before we conclude this particular interview, I want to ask you one thing, which is, what message do you want to convey to the general audience, or especially the people, those who are working in your domain, in your fraternity? So, what will be that message?
As I said during my conversation also, that we have a very rich past, very rich heritage. So instead of looking solutions to the Western countries, please try and look at the solutions of designs and construction in our buildings also that have been constructed and preserved so well. They have a beautiful solutions for green buildings, sustainable architecture and sustainable technologies. So probably, especially younger generation which is coming up, which has Google at their fingertips.
Bilkul.
So if you are Googling about the buildings in New York and Spain, please Google about the buildings in Rajasthan also. So about the buildings Glory Baker is doing down south also.
Right.
So that will give you a very good insight and put you at edge with the world architects. So that is what
Definitely.
I would like to convey to
It's a
people.
great message, yes. Especially for the young generation.
Young generation, yes.
So, thank you so much, Neha ji, for taking out your time.
Thank you for this
sharing.
opportunity.
My pleasure, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, everyone, this was the discussion with Neha Modi, and so we are, again coming up with more such interviews and talks. So, spread a word and spread this particular interview or the other past interviews we have done with your circle, with your friends, and let us spread a word about greenpreneur, green entrepreneurship, or the sustainability. And if you have not subscribed vyapaarjagat TV yet, so please do subscribe vyapaarjagat TV and stay tuned. We are coming up with more such videos. And last but not least, as you know that we are having an initiative which is called Greenpreneur Convention and Awards, and it's a 4 days big event happening in India, wherein we are making it from 13th of August till 15th of August, 3 days virtual convention, and we will be having 1 day physical event wherein we are going to felicitate our winners, and there will be exhibitors, and it is going to be a great networking event. So if you have not registered yet, so please do register now, and we will see you in the convention, in the event, and keep watching vyapaarjagat TV. Thank you so much.
सपना देखें हम उसे पूरा करें, कोई उड़ना चाहे हम उसे विश्वास दें, कोई सपना देखें हम उसे पूरा करें, कोई उड़ना चाहे हम उसे विश्वास दे। जोश भरने को तैयार हम, आगे बढ़ने में राहदार हम, जोश भरने को तैयार हम, आगे बढ़ने में राहदार हम। मेरा व्यापार मेरी पहचान, मेरा व्यापार मेरी पहचान, मेरा व्यापार मेरी पहचान, मेरा व्यापार व्यापार को दे पहचान। हर व्यापार को दे पहचान। व्यापार जगत।